Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of slot 2 VARC. We're going to take questions 14 to 26. In the first part of slot 2, we took 3 passages, including the toughest passage in the set, that was the one on visual culture, and then we covered the one on piracy, right? Today in this session we will be looking at all the other parts of the question. RC, of course, we will do the passage on renewable energy, and then we will be moving on to the parajumble, summary, and the odd one out passages, odd one out paragraphs. Give me a heads up how many of you are attending right now before I start the session. Okay, as you know, at Grade Up we have planned more than 20 sessions with detailed solutions of all the questions, all the 228 questions that appeared in both the slots, in all the 3 sections. We will also be taking up the controversial questions, questions that you could challenge for all the slots, and then we'll try to make an overall prediction of scores and percentiles. We have covered quite a few sessions. With my session now, we have covered the VARC of slot 2, and then we move on to quant and slot 3 VARC and quant. All right, and in the end, the last session of the day would be Vijay talking about the questions to be challenged, where you are not happy with the answers or with the questions themselves. All right, I will give you 30 seconds to read each slide, because I assume you remember a little of it, but we should still look at every question and look at the answers for it. So your time starts now. Start reading the first slide. Okay, next slide. All right, so the passage talks about renewable energy, and in the first paragraph the author says that right now renewable energy technologies are hot business, means they're very good for business, but we have to look at them carefully, because they may not, when we are looking for a low carbon future, renewable energy will have to be examined thoroughly before we can say that they really are the way to a low carbon future. Then he says that renewable energy, and he gives the example of hydropower projects, showed us that they lead to a lot of social and environmental consequences. He says hydroelectric power dispossessed a lot of people, led to exclusion. Similarly, renewable energy supply chains are intertwined by mining, and these can be, though they can be produced at on a small scale level, they not be very profitable at the small scale level. So he's looking at all these aspects of why renewable energy may not be the real blessing that people think it is. Second part, he's given another point why renewable energy might be a negative. He says that if they believe in resource extraction, they are dependent on minerals and metals. Some of the world's reservoirs of these minerals like cobalt, copper, lithium, rare earth metals are also found in the most fragile and backward states. And when the demand for these minerals increase, the extractable activities will exploit the people of that region. That's where he ends the first slide. Second part, he says that there is a connection between climate change and weight, because the devices that reduce our carbon footprint require lithium batteries, like hybrid cars require lithium batteries. How do you dispose of the waste? The disposal of toxic waste has actually perpetuated social injustice. So what happens is that the waste flows to the marginalized areas of the world. So it's the poor people who have to deal with the toxic waste while we use the minerals. Next, he says that it is a recent addition to the financial portfolios. It is considered a hot business, but you must understand that there is something called capital accumulation that's happening here. For it to become profitable, there has to be some one center which works. And so he says that though people want more democratic energy futures, renewable energy may not really be the answer, because though it can be produced at a household or a neighborhood level, it will not be very profitable. For it to be profitable, it has to be highly concentrated, and it becomes corporatized. Therefore, he says one needs to remember that large asset management firms, highly concentrated asset management firms, will take it up. Okay, all right, I'm seeing some fantastic news here. 99, not because of me. Okay, thank you, but it's not because of me. It was entirely because of your effort. 95 plus, very good. How was verbal? No, definitely not because of me. I just pushed you in the right direction. I hope I pushed you in the right direction. I think I only acted as a confidence builder more than anything else. I always see my role as that, because the skill you have, just need to build on the reading habit, and after that it's all to tell you that English is easy, English can be done. Don't goof it up. All right, that's okay. All right, question 14. Which of the following will support the argument except? Always wary of these except questions. I am always very careful when an except question, because our brain, literally the auto response would be to mark the first one which does support, and we have to look at one which does not support the argument. So what answer did you mark? Which one does not support the main argument? The example of agricultural finance helps us to see how to concentrate corporate activity in the renewable energy sector. This has been mentioned. Marginalized people in Africa, Asia, Latin America have often been the main sufferers of corporate mineral extraction. He says yes, he has mentioned this. The possible negative impacts of renewable energy need to be studied before it can be offered as a financial investment. It already is being seen as a financial investment opportunity. That is not the author's main point. Author says it is being seen as a good financial opportunity, investment opportunity, but we need to see the environmental and social effects of this, right? And he does say that disposal of toxic waste has perpetuated social injustice. So the answer for 14 is 3, right? Okay, next, question 15. That is fair enough. That is all. Not a controversial question, easy question. The passage was a little difficult, like Status World has said. The passage, actually it was among the 4 passages which were there. We had the visual culture passage, we had piracy, we had the one on aggression, and then of course renewable energy. I thought aggression was the easiest of the lot. Piracy was not bad except for a tone question, which many students said they made a mistake in. Next was renewable energy. Actually, when I looked at the visual, in my set, the visual energy passage was the last, the visual culture passage was the last passage in the set. So by the time I reached it, I had only 15 minutes left, and I had all the parajumbles, the theta questions, the parajumble summary questions left, and the last passage left. So I thought, let me finish the theta questions in 5 minutes, and then I'll move on to the reading comprehension passage. That's where I messed up the last passage. But when I looked at it now, I thought the passage may have been a little lengthy, but the questions, at least 3 out of the 5 questions were pretty direct. Yeah. So question 15. Which one is an accurate inference from the first paragraph? So quickly read through the options. The author does not think renewable energy system can be as efficient as non-renewable energy system. Does he talk of the efficiency? He is talking more in terms of the environmental impact and the social impact, if you remember right. He has reservations about the consequences of non-renewable energy system. He has not mentioned that. Only reservation is profit. No, he has many other reservations. So even without cross-checking with the first paragraph, you have the correct answer, which is 4. But let's just go back to what he says here. He says that, look, renewable energy needs to be further scrutinized, carefully examined before we champion it as a path towards a low carbon future. So before we say, oh, this is a low carbon thing, this is environmentally good, we really need to look at it carefully, because it's not as environmentally friendly as you think. There's the question of those minerals that you need to extract. There's a question of the waste that is produced. So it's not as great as you think it is. The social impact is even greater for even a small thing like hydroelectric power, right? Okay, so 14 is 3, right? 15 is 4. Now let's go to 16. Now this question, I made a mistake because I did not see this and I marked whatever. I just didn't understand the question. I think I thought I would mark it for later because I wanted to finish it and get going to the next line. Which of the following statements, if false, could be the best supporting argument for the passage? The author's main argument is that renewable energy may be a good financial investment at the moment, but remember, it will lead to concentration of wealth, to corporatization. The small households can produce renewable energy, but it will not be financially lucrative. It will not really give you as many and a return on your investment, as great a return on your investment. The second part that he says is that it's not as environmentally good as you think it is, and its social impact also is pretty bad. So which of the options, if false, would support it? Renewable energy systems are as expensive. He didn't talk of the expense of the system, so one is kind of irrelevant, neither supports nor weakens it. But look at 2. If 2 is false, then what would it be? 2 says renewable energy systems have little or no environmental impact. If this statement is false, that means the statement is that renewable energy systems have a great environmental impact. They have an adverse impact on the environment. So if it is false, it will go in line with what the author has been arguing. Therefore, the answer is 2. Which of the following, if false? You need to remember that it's a if false question, not an if true question. And that unsettled me in the sense that I had to think. So the stress at the exam is that anything that takes more time would become a factor which takes away from your concentration and focus, and you end up with a greater chance of marking the wrong answer, which is what happened with me with this question. So the answer is 2, clearly, no problem with that, because it's an if false question. Question 17. Which of the following would the author most support? Which practice do you think he would most support? We know his main point. Toxic waste should be disposed of carefully, should not perpetuate social injustice, need to look at the environmental impact of renewable energy, it should be democratically accessed, not be concentrated in the hands of a few. The study of coexistence of marginalized people with the environment, no. Encouragement for the development of more environmentally friendly carbon-based fuels, no, the entire topic is not about carbon-based fuels, the topic is about renewable fuels, energy. More stringent global policies and regulations to ensure a more just system of toxic waste disposal. He is saying at present the toxic waste disposal system is unjust because it affects the most marginalized people the most. It perpetuates social injustice. At 2 points he has mentioned it. Therefore, the answer for question 17 is 3. Got it? Okay. Which is the main point of the passage? Should have taken you 30 seconds to answer this. The development of renewable energy sector is a double-edged sword. That means it has both advantages and disadvantages, right? A double-edged sword could be. The most forms of renewable energy are not profitable investments. He has not said that. He has said it's profitable, but hang on. There are other things, so it's not such a unmitigated, pure boon that people have made it to be. It has got a lot of negatives which we need to look into before you really champion it as the future. So 2 is not correct. 3, renewable energy systems are not democratic unless they are corporate controlled. Exactly the opposite of what he says. When they are corporate controlled, he says watch out for that. If there is centralization, if there is corporate control, then it will affect the democratic access. One should ensure that it is democratically accessible. The moment it is controlled, and he says the person who's putting in the money, the investment, he will make a big investment, so it gets controlled in the hands of a few, and that would affect the access. Therefore, 3 is also not the main point. Renewable energy produced at the household level is more efficient. He says one can produce, but one doesn't get a great return on investment. So if it's not a good return on investment, I guess this also is not correct. Therefore, the correct answer anyway is 1. We just eliminated the other option, that renewable energy has both positives and negatives. So it's not a pure blessing as it is made out to be, right? Okay, question. So that was the answer. The key given by Cat also has given 1 as the answer. Easy, no controversy on that. Now, the summary questions, if I remember right, there were 2 summary questions. Both the summary questions were easy, but they took time. The passage took at least 30 seconds to read. The options took another 30-40 seconds to read. So if you had the time, you would get both of them correct. With the Treaty of Westphalia, the papacy, the Pope, and from there the rule of the Pope is called papacy, had been confined to ecclesiastical functions, and the doctrine ecclesiastical related to the church. So the Pope had access only to religious matters, and the doctrine of sovereign equality reigned. Okay, what political theory can explain the origin and justify the functions of a secular political order? Secular here means free of religion, something which is more worldly. Secular, not religious. Okay, so how did that a political order not controlled by the church, how did that come about? In his Leviathan, produced in 1651, 3 years after the Peace of Westphalia, Thomas Hobbes, a great political philosopher, provided such a theory. He imagined a state of nature in the past when the absence of authority produced a war of all against all. So Hobbes wrote that before the state had been created, there was a state of nature, and this state of nature was a state where everyone was at war with everyone else. And to escape that intolerable insecurity, people gave up their rights to a sovereign or free independent power. In return, the sovereign, the ruler, offered them protection and security within the state's border. So they gave all their rights to a king. The king said, all right, in return to you people giving me your rights, I will give you security. So the state sovereign's monopoly on power was established as the only way to overcome the perpetual fear of death and war. It was a state when everybody was at war with one another, so they decided to give all their rights and all the power to a sovereign authority, and that authority, in return for the power bestowed on him, given by all the people to him or her, him, decided to took the responsibility of protecting them. So the people therefore invented a ruler and a state to overcome their fear of violent death and war. Which option summarizes this the best? So when you read the summary, I've told you, you always summarize the paragraph given in your own words. Choose the option closest to you, closest to your summary of the question. So which one was the summary? Is this Thomas Hobbes theorized voluntary surrender as essential for the emergence. No. Sovereign state, in exchange for rights were given, in exchange for responsibility for security. Which option says that? This option. He theorized that the sovereign states emerged as a transactional relationship between the people and the state. And why did the people get into this? To get over there. Just like not in these questions, only one question in the earlier slot, Karthik, in the earlier section, question 10 was slightly ambiguous. I have pointed out question 10, Karthik, in the first session. All right, now look at the para jumbles. Look at the I have referred the question to my colleagues also. Question 10 in the earlier section that I discussed. Everything can be inferred except in the passage on, I forget the passage. Aggression. Yeah, this is slot 2, Karthik. I am only taking slot 2. Slot 1 was done by Sanojam. I don't know if he figured out any discrepancy or any mistake. Slot 2, the first question from 1 to 13, I pointed out only one question where the answers were ambiguous. The ambiguity was between choices 1 and 2. Both I thought could not be inferred because I didn't find any basis in the passage, but I might have missed it. So I want you all to look at that question again. All right, para jumbles. This one was fine, but quickly go through it. Easy if you had spent a minute on this, right? While you might think that you are aware of all the changes happening in your environment, there is simply too much information for your brain to fully process everything. Really, it cannot be aware of every single thing that happens in the world around you. So what happens as a result? Big shifts happen in front of your eyes and you're not aware of it. Psychologists use the term change of blindness to describe this tendency of people to be blind of changes around them. So 1342 was our answer and 1342 is the official answer too. You apply on the basis of your slot and your number, I think. Yeah. But anyway, this evening Vijay will be summing up all the questions to be challenged. You can add that. I have also sent this. Yeah. Next one. So no discrepancy, no problem with this. 1342 was the answer. 1342, you know how to arrive at 1342. No ambiguity here. Question 21. Five sentences. Identify the odd one out. This was also pretty easy, provided you spent a little time, because there are 5 statements. The victim's trauma after assault rarely gets the attention that we lavish on the moment of damage that divided the survivor from a less encumbered past. One thing we often do with narratives of sexual assault is sort their respective parties into different temporalities. It seems that we are interested in perpetrator's future and victim's past. One result of that, so he talks about the narrative. One result of that is we don't have much of a vocabulary for what happens in a victim's life after the painful past has been excavated. Even when our shared language gestures towards the future, as the term survivor does. Okay, here also we have, yeah. Okay. Even the most charitable questions asked about the victim seem to focus on the past in pursuit of understanding or of corroboration of painful details. As more and more stories of sexual assault have been made public in the last 2 years, the genre of their telling has exploded. Crimes have a tendency to become not just stories but genres. Now look, he talks about how crime stories are narrated. This talks about the language used, the gestures, the vocabulary. This talks of the narrative. This links it to the attention given to the victim. The only one that doesn't seem to be really talking of that aspect of it is 4, though it does talk about victims, but it's not talking about the narrative of how it's been told, of how it's been picturized. So 21, 4 is the odd one out and 4 is the answer given in the answer key 2. Okay, all right. 22. 22 was again a para jumble. I hope all of you did it, whether you had time for it or not. You had marked in something at least. But the attention of the layman has been captured by the atom bomb, although there is at least a chance that it never may be used again. Of all the changes introduced by man into the household of nature, controlled large-scale nuclear fission is undoubtedly the most dangerous and the most profound. The danger to humanity created by the so-called peaceful uses of atomic energy may, however, be much greater. The resultant ionization of radiation has become the most serious agent of pollution of the environment and the greatest threat to man's survival. The result of which ionizing radiation of large scale nuclear fission. So of all the changes, nuclear fission is the most dangerous. Why? Because the resultant ionizing radiation has become a great source of environmental pollution and the greatest threat to man's survival. But people's attention is caught by the atom bomb, even though the danger posed by, right? So could it be 2143 or 2413? Sorry, got it? It is 2413, so we don't have a problem with this. 23. Sorry, easiest one of the set. Easiest one of the set because it's describing, whenever anything describes a physical model of something, it's generally easy, right? So completed in 2006, the Very Large Telescope. So start with 2. Then link it up for me, guys. It has 4 movable auxiliary telescopes. When these are combined, right, this configuration, okay, easy, would have taken you about 30 seconds to work this out. So 2143 is the answer. I think almost everyone got that right if you had time for it and if you really looked at it. All right, this one was a summary. Okay, again, summary questions were easy. All the theta questions were easy. If you'd given 45 seconds to a minute to it, you'd have got it right. All human decisions are made based on one or a combination of two factors, intuition or information. So human decisions are based on either intuition or information. Intuitive decisions are fast. People don't think about the problem. Someone who made a decision on intuition will have the difficulty explaining the reasoning behind it because one uses senses in drawing conclusions. Okay, on the other hand, decisions based on information are rational, based on facts and figures. It also means it can be quite intuitive, fast. You have a different, you don't find it easy to explain it. But information based decision making is rational. You use facts, figures, everything. Obviously, you can explain why you made the decision, but the process is quite slow. So which one is the best summary? The very first one, look at it. Decisions based on intuition and information result in differential speed and ability to provide a rational good. We make decisions based on time. He didn't say you decide whether to make intuition or informational decision making based on the time available. Not said. It's better to make, he does not say which is better, which is worse. Okay, here he says that only talks about intuition, so clearly one is the answer. All right, so 24, answer is 1. No confusion about that, clear and easy. 25, identify the odd one out. Again, an easy one if you went with the words, but it probably would have taken a little longer than the earlier one. You can observe the truth of this in every e-business model ever constructed: monopolize and protect data. Economists and technologists believe that a new kind of capitalism is being created, different from industrial capitalism as was merchant capitalism. In 1962, Kenneth Arrow, the guru of mainstream economics, said that in a free market economy, the purpose of inventing things is to create intellectual property rights. So he is talking about monopolizing and protecting data. IPR is talking about protecting your data, protecting your inventions. There is, alongside the world of monopolized information, linking with this, and surveillance, a different dynamic: information as a social good, incapable of being owned, exploited or priced. Yet information is abundant, information goods are freely available, and once a thing is made, it is copied and pasted infinitely. So which one would you say is the odd one out? Talks of capitalism. Here it's all talking about monopoly of data, protection of data, information, monopoly of information, and yet information. This is the second slot, Arpan. All right, so 2 is the answer. No controversy here. All right, the last one, which is probably a summary. I will take a couple of your questions after this. Very easy summary. The last question, very easy summary. If you had just read the paragraph, you had read just one choice and hopefully narrowed in on that easily at the first shot, you would get it. The rural-urban continuum and heterogeneity of urban settings pose an obvious challenge to identifying urban areas and measuring urbanization rates in a consistent way within and across territory. So there is a challenge to identify urban areas and measure urbanization rates while it is the rural-urban continuum. An objective methodology to distinguish urban and rural areas is based on 1 or 2 metrics. All right, a richer combination of criteria would be to interpret it along with the human judgment. So 26, what do you think is what did you mark as the right answer is what I'm more interested in. and what did you get? I will answer your questions based on the paper. 26. We need human judgment to supplement the my score was not that great. It was not bad. Something that I'm not ashamed of, but something I'm not proud of either. So we shall keep it a well-kept secret. I made a few silly mistakes. The visual culture passage was the one that did me in. So we will not concentrate on my score. Yeah, it's okay. Not too good. Not bad. I should score a high 90 percentile, but 99 maybe, I don't know. But I no. Okay, let's talk about how you did, how much you scored, and what did you think of the paper, and what would you do? No, that come on. Isn't that a little too low? That's a good score, but oh, you scored 35, Karthik. Good. I didn't score 35. No, not that bad. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. No. Okay. What do you want to do with my scores? I'll tell you my quant score if I see it. I didn't even see it. All right. Like I said, the only upsetting thing was, I don't know if it happened to any of you, but I felt I had answered 21 questions. The visual thing, I just looked at the passage. By the time I came to the question, I should have at least had the time to answer the epiphenomena question, but I didn't. And but the actual result showed 3-4 questions as unanswered, and I'm still confused because I thought I had answered them. So we are doing an analysis of all the questions. Make sure you look at all the analysis. And like I said, for slot 2, those of you who took slot 2, question 10 is the only one which is ambiguous. All of the following can be inferred except the answer given in the answer key is 1. I could not find a reference for option 2 either, but I have put that question across to my colleagues and asked them to see it also. You people also see it. Okay, very good. 35 they are saying is a very good score for 35. They say is a very good score for slot 2 VARC. So good. All right, it's a very good score. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, so now listen guys, while CAT is important, we shall talk about the GDPI program also. All of you who've got a good score and are expecting a good percentile, but at the same time you need to focus on the other exams coming up. SNAP is in 11 days. All of you who are appearing for SNAP, we should be looking at that. ZAT 3rd January, we are doing a special session on decision making and VARC for ZAT. IFT, of course, there's IFT, TISNET, CMAT, still a lot of days to go. So these are the two, SNAP and ZAT, you should be concentrating on right now. Do join the ZAT decision making and verbal ability course. There are, if any of your friends or any of you want to take CAT 2021, we have a course lined up just for you. All right, so after this there should be a quant analysis, and at the end of the day VARC will be doing an analysis of all the questions which are controversial, which could be challenged. So do attend that and put up any of your questions that you have. All right, got it? Good. For me, I wish the visual culture passage was right at the beginning. It was right at the end, and I did not judge the paper this time. I just kept answering on the go, and that is where there was, oh, DILR was an absolute it was an absolute nightmare. I mean, I'm not good at it anyway. I don't do it, but I had all the time in the world to look at it. That's a good percentile with your background, but Karthik, you should be talking to our experts on this. There will be special sessions on what percentile and which colleges you should apply to. Either Saral or Vijay Karthik will be taking it, but you should get lot of IIM calls, lot of them. I do not, last year I had students get 95 and get with OBC get calls for Ahmedabad. But make sure, we do not know, so make sure just talk to our experts on that. Yes, all the slots DILR was tough. There was no discrimination in that, though they say slot 1 verbal was a bit easier. We don't know. See, every time you take one slot, you always think the other slot is easier, but that's not necessarily true. They keep the topics identical, so it should be the same. All right, so do attend the next few sessions too, guys, and yeah, any doubt and any controversy in any of the questions, do point it out. Arpan, daily reading will help your reading practice, will help your reading habit, but you need to solve questions in a timed manner. You need to answer questions, see what kind of options are given, and the timing is very important. That's the biggest lesson we learned in CAT 2020, right? We were so used to the 34 questions, 1 hour pattern. You know, it had almost become a part of your body clock, and you knew exactly what was happening. And suddenly this 2640 was very, it's unsettling. The mocks that we did, we had 25 question mocks also, but mostly 20 question mocks. We didn't expect. Yes, daily RC practice and in a timed manner. Join our grade up Telegram group, all of you, so that you can know about the sessions that we are having. You can post your doubts, you can post questions, and make it an interactive session. All right, do join our sessions on YouTube and on the app, but more than that, make sure that you join our Telegram group. Vishal, each institute has its own rules for the cutoff on how much percentage you need. Just need to look up the literature of the institutes, and we will have sessions on that too, so don't worry. We will have Pranav Pant, Saral, Vijay Jha talking to you about the requirements and about the cutoffs that each institute has. There's a difference. Some people, for some institutes, the cutoff is a little higher in terms of graduation percentage, the CAT scores, the percentage that is given to, the weightage that is given to your CAT score, everything, there is a difference, right? So join grade up, Vishal, attend our classes, attend our sessions, and then they will guide you. All right, so keep reading, attend the session so that you know what the exam is asking, and then you can easily do it. All right, okay, you should be attending the other slots. Get ready for that. Join the group, the Telegram group. CAT prep discussion, there is a CAT Telegram group. Join Telegram. There's a CAT prep discussion group. You can join that. If you have downloaded Telegram, see grade up CAT Telegram, CAT prep discussion. That's what it is called. Okay, Vishal, I'll ask somebody to call the number on the screen and find out. Okay, 96500 52904. They'll give you the link. Okay, I thought it was here. They shared it here also. Hello Dia, I thought they shared it somewhere here in this also. Okay, so otherwise somebody from our team will call you up, Vishal, and tell you how to join the grade up team. Okay, are we done? Yes, Dia, if you're joining for this session, it's too late. The next session, it's a little too early. Okay, just quickly tell me how did CAT go, and watch the session and see how it is. Okay, hello, just Join our Telegram group, all of you. That way you can talk and look at the recording. And as I said, not many controversial questions in VARC. Just look at question 10, the one in the slides that we discussed. Just see if you're okay with the answers. CAT 2021, join our strategy session. Yes, Ojas, I will just ask someone to call the number on your screen. They will tell you join our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I think it's at 4 or 4:30. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't predict percentiles, Imtiaz. The percentile guys are sitting there. Saral, Pranav, Vijay, please ask them. Okay. Call the number on the screen and they will guide you on how to attend, and which are the next session is around 4:30. It should be at 4:30. So join that. Call that number on your screen, 96500 52904, and they will guide you on joining the Telegram group. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and you will get all the notifications, and download the app also. You will get all the notifications of all the courses happening. All right? Okay. All the best. I'll see you soon. Maya phone korla matte